Hello there and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling and the Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy and as you can see we're doing a quick build update on our 172 scale B-29 Enola Gay or Bockscar, which is Academy kit number 12528. We haven't really got very far. I mean, we've kind of been doing a lot of procrastinating today, but what we've basically managed to do is we've painted our cockpit interior. We've built the cockpit interior obviously first, and then we've managed to fit it to one side of the fuselage. I've also painted this rear crew area, which interestingly appears to have two beds in the back of it. I hope they're beds because that's how I've kind of painted them, with sheets, pillows and a blanket. And this, I believe, is the gun station, and we've got the racking in for the Bombays and these oxygen tanks, I think these are, and we've also got our crew tunnel in as well. Now I'm just going to run through some of the there's a couple of issues that I've actually found with this while I've been building it. Firstly, you can see here, these are the Bombay racks, and these tiny little holes that you see are for attaching our Bombay doors. Now, one of them fits perfectly, but the other one, this one fits perfectly. It's probably easier if I show you one here, actually. Yeah. One of these fits perfectly. You can see the hinges going into the little holes there and at the top. The second one, however, doesn't fit. So obviously what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut a little bit off on this part here so as I can get the Bombay doors to fit. Now, unfortunately, I didn't realise this on this side, so I'm probably going to have to deploy the mini drill on that. So that's one issue that I've got. Another issue, which is probably more down to me than it's probably down to my inexperience with not having built a large kit like this as yet, is there's no real sort of guides for the Bombay racks. So I mean, I've had to kind of guess where they went because there's no support point for them. So, I mean, obviously it seems that the two holes are supposed to go either side of the Bombay doors. But, I mean, as you can see there, they're kind of a little bit hit and miss. And obviously, if you don't quite get this in the right position, it is probably potentially going to cause all sorts of problems further down the road, which I'm kind of thinking I might actually have. Now, obviously, this kit is intended to be a B-29, and it is done up as the Enola Gay as an additional kit, I imagine. The Enola Gay had all its remote control guns removed, and most of the ports where the guns went had these sort of raised parts here. Now, in the instructions, it tells you to trim these off with a blade, which I'm currently in the process of doing. My trimming skills are a little bit aggressive, though, it seems, so there's probably going to be a bit of not a particularly great finish on that. So we might have to reach for our Vallejo model filler plastic putty to solve that problem. I've also noticed that, again, this is probably me, because there's no sort of real definitive slots to put this in when you put the crew compartments into the fuselage, that it's kind of hard to kind of figure out exactly where it's supposed to go. Now, I'm a little bit concerned that I've got my forward crew compartment slightly too far forward, because as you can see here, I've got a gap, I've got a ridge here when we go into the undercarriage compartment at the front, and it's kind of moved forward here, and this piece here looks like it's going to be interfering with this slot for the the undercarriage. When I assemble it, it also seems to be slightly forward, but what I've done is I've mounted my pressure cabin here forward of this line and forward of this line, because obviously you can't put it central, I don't think, or maybe you were supposed to, I'm not quite sure. So it's kind of worrying at the end of the day. And again, I've made a bit of a poor effort on that as well. So all is not going quite according to plan, you could say. But considering the largest plane that I've built so far was my ME110, maybe I've sort of skipped ahead and should have tried a sort of B-29 before I moved on to this. But I was kind of keen to move on to this one, as having done the oh dear, I've just lost the gun. Having done the USS Indianapolis last week, which was the delivery method of the atomic weapons to Tinian, I was kind of keen to do the end delivery method, if you like, for the weapons to finish on August the 6th. But I kind of think that maybe I've sort of jumped ahead of my skill abilities so far. So yeah, this may turn out to be a bit of a nightmare, unfortunately, but we'll soldier on and we'll see how we get going. I mean, the crew compartments, I haven't done a lot of detail on these because I'm not really into the doing a lot of detail on them and then basically just covering them up. I mean, the fact that I've actually bothered to do the rear crew compartment is sort of I put it together and I thought, oh, I might as well just paint it, you know, I've got the paint open. So I did, but it's all going to be invisible eventually. So yeah, I know people spend an awful lot of time doing these things, and it's just, for me, it's a bit, oh, I don't know. I've decided that I'm not going to bother doing anything paint-wise in the Bombay, because I'm going to have the Bombays closed. As for the two atomic weapons that we get, Little Boy and Fat Man, I decided that I'm going to try and get at some point in the future some, they had a little Jeep with the trolleys on, and I think I might build one of those and have it standing next to it with either or, well, with this one on, basically, because this is the one that Enola Gay carried. So I think that's what I'm actually going to do in the future, because I kind of like them at the end of the day. So I don't, and if I put them in the Bombays, I'm never going to see them again. So I think that's what I'm going to do with that. So to deal with my sort of oops, I spilled some. To deal with my sort of problems, I've moved on to from Budweiser to this Elijah Craig small batch Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. I've just managed to spill over the instructions. So I'm going to drown my sorrows in this for a little while, and then I'm going to try and put this together and hope we get something that resembles a B-29 at the end of it. So thanks for tuning in. Wish me well. Be seeing you.